Emily squinted at the screen, seeing the alien ships firing at the human installations. The ships were large and menacing, with dark metal surfaces and glowing green lights. Emily recognized the markings. They belonged to the infamous Grakor, an alien warlord known for his ruthless raids. He had conquered many worlds, and now he was attacking their outpost. "Prepare for battle!" Emily shouted, adrenaline pumping through her veins. "We cannot let Grakor take this outpost. It's vital for our operations in this region." The crew quickly prepared the weapons and activated the ship's shields. Emily took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She knew that this battle would be dangerous, but she had faith in her crew and their ship. They were trained for moments like this. As they neared the planet, Emily felt a surge of determination. She had faced many challenges before, but this felt different. Grakor was not just any enemy, he was a warlord with a reputation for cruelty. But she believed in the strength of humanity. "Bring us into position! We need to distract them and protect the outpost," Emily ordered, her voice firm. The crew worked quickly, maneuvering the ship into a flanking position. Suddenly, the SS Horizon emerged from behind a nearby asteroid, surprising the alien forces. Emily watched as Grakor's ships turned in shock. "Fire at will!" she commanded, and the ship's cannons unleashed a barrage of energy blasts. The bright lights lit up the dark space, and explosions echoed through the cold void. The aliens were caught off guard, and several of their ships began to falter. Emily felt a rush of hope. Perhaps they could turn the tide of this battle. She directed her crew, coordinating their attacks with precision. Each hit counted, and they aimed to protect the outpost at all costs. As the battle raged on, Emily noticed something unusual. The aliens were beginning to retreat, their ships moving erratically. Confusion filled her as she wondered why they would flee. Grakor was known for his tenacity, and yet here he was, pulling back. "Lieutenant, can you get a read on their communications?" Emily asked, trying to understand the sudden shift in the battle. Ryan nodded and tapped on his console. "I'm on it, Captain. It looks like Grakor is issuing a retreat order," he replied, his brow furrowing in confusion. He's never done this before. Emily's heart raced. Was it possible that humanity's display of strength had scared the warlord? It was a thrilling thought. The crew cheered, celebrating their unexpected advantage, but Emily kept her focus. This battle was far from over. Suddenly, Grakor's flagship, the Blood Reaver, turned to face them again. Emily could see the warlord standing on the bridge, his eyes narrowing as he assessed the situation. She could sense his fury and determination. He was not a coward. He would fight back. As the battle continued, Emily knew they had to be ready for whatever Grakor had planned next. The encounter was only just beginning, and she could feel the weight of the moment. The fate of the outpost and her crew hung in the balance, and she was determined to protect them. Little did they know, this battle would change everything for humanity and the alien warlords forever. As the SS Horizon floated in the vastness of space, the battle against Grakor's forces was far from over. Captain Emily Hart stood on the bridge, her heart pounding with adrenaline. They had pushed back the alien warlord's fleet, but she knew Grakor would not back down easily. He would be regrouping and planning his next move. "Captain, we've damaged several of his ships, but the Blood Reaver is still operational," Lieutenant Ryan reported, his fingers flying over the controls. "He's likely calling for reinforcements." Emily frowned, knowing they needed a plan. They had already shown their strength, but it was clear that Grakor's pride would not let him surrender easily. "We have to use our technology to our advantage," she said, determination in her voice. "Let's show them what we can do." She turned to her crew. "Prepare the cloaking system. We need to disappear and confuse them again. Let's catch Grakor off guard." The crew moved swiftly, activating the ship's cloaking technology. The SS Horizon shimmered and then faded from view, becoming invisible to the enemy. Emily felt a surge of excitement. This was their chance. They could launch a surprise attack while the aliens were distracted. As they waited, Emily looked out at the battlefield. The alien ships were regrouping, their dark forms drifting like shadows against the stars. The Blood Reaver was at the center, a hulking presence that commanded attention. Emily knew that Grakor would be furious and desperate to regain control. "Steady, everyone," she instructed. "We'll strike when they least expect it." After a few moments, Emily decided it was time to act. "Engage the cloaking system. Let's move in closer." The crew nodded, their faces filled with focus and determination. The ship glided forward, silent and unseen. Suddenly, they were in position, just outside the main cluster of alien ships. Emily's heart raced as she watched Grakor's fleet prepare for a counterattack. "Now! Uncloak and fire!" she shouted. The ship became visible again, and the crew unleashed a barrage of energy blasts at the unsuspecting aliens. The brilliant beams of light cut through the darkness, striking the enemy ships with incredible force. Explosions erupted, sending debris flying in all directions. Grakor's forces were thrown into chaos. The alien warlord could hardly believe his eyes. "What kind of trickery is this?" he bellowed, his voice filled with rage. He had underestimated humanity's capabilities, and now he was paying the price. Emily felt a rush of confidence as they continued to fire at the enemy. Their advanced weapons systems were proving to be effective against Grakor's ships. "Keep it up," she urged her crew. "We're turning the tide!" As the battle raged, Emily's tactical displays showed the effectiveness of their technology. The energy shields held strong against incoming fire, protecting the ship from harm. Drones launched from the SS Horizon, darting through the chaos and targeting enemy ships with precision. The alien forces were beginning to falter. Grakor, now desperate, ordered his ships to regroup and prepare for a counteroffensive. "We will not let these humans win," he shouted, trying to rally his troops. But it was too late. The sight of humanity's advanced technology was enough to instill doubt in the hearts of his commanders. Suddenly, a wave of fear washed over Grakor's crew. They saw the incredible firepower the humans wielded and realized they were fighting a losing battle. The aliens exchanged nervous glances, and whispers of surrender began to spread among them. Emily noticed the shift in the enemy's demeanor. "They're scared," she said, her voice low. "Our technology is making them doubt themselves." The SS Horizon pressed the advantage, continuing to rain down fire on the enemy fleet. Grakor, feeling the pressure, tried to regain control. "Do not falter! We are warriors! We will fight!" he roared, but his voice lacked the conviction it once held. As the battle reached its peak, Emily saw a chance for victory. "Let's give them one final push. Target the Blood Reaver! If we can take down their flagship, the rest will follow," she commanded. The crew responded with determination. They locked on to Grakor's ship and unleashed a powerful energy blast, one that lit up the dark space like a star. The shot struck the Blood Reaver directly, causing it to shudder and tremble. Emily's heart raced as she watched the Warlords' flagship take damage. This was their moment to prove that humanity was not to be underestimated. With a fierce battle cry, she urged her crew on. They were making history, showing the galaxy the true power of human technology. The battle raged on in the cold expanse of space. Captain Emily Hart stood at the bridge of the SS Horizon, her eyes fixed on the chaotic scene unfolding before her. The Blood Reaver, Grakor's flagship, was taking heavy damage, and the crew was determined to finish what they had started. However, Emily could sense a shift in the atmosphere. The aliens were starting to falter. "Captain, we've disabled 3 of their ships and the Blood Reaver is heavily damaged," Lieutenant Ryan reported, excitement lacing his voice. "But Grakor hasn't ordered a full retreat yet." "He's still trying to fight!" Emily nodded, feeling a mix of anticipation and concern. Grakor was known for his stubbornness and ferocity, and she knew he would not give up easily. "Keep up the pressure. Let's make sure he knows he's beaten," she said, her voice steady. As the SS Horizon continued its assault, Emily watched the alien ships trying to regroup. Grakor's forces were becoming increasingly disorganized. The once confident warlord was now desperate, firing wildly at the human ship, but their energy shields held strong. Emily could see fear creeping into the eyes of some of the alien commanders as they exchanged worried glances. Suddenly, the comms crackled to life. "Captain, we are receiving a transmission from Grakor," Ryan announced, surprised. Emily raised an eyebrow, curious but cautious. Why would Grakor want to communicate now? "Put it on screen," she ordered. The view shifted to show Grakor, his face twisted in anger and desperation. "You think you have won, human," he growled. "But I will not surrender. We are warriors, and we will fight until our last breath." Emily watched him, her heart racing. Grakor's pride was blinding him to the reality of the situation. "Grakor, your ships are falling. You cannot win this battle. Surrender now and we can discuss peace," she urged, hoping to reach the alien warlord. "Peace?" Grakor scoffed, his voice dripping with scorn. "You think I would bow to a weak human? I will never surrender." Emily felt a wave of frustration. Grakor's stubbornness could lead to his destruction, and that of his crew. "You're putting your people in danger, Grakor. We don't want to destroy you. We want to protect those who don't want war," she said, trying to appeal to his sense of honor. The warlord hesitated for a moment, his eyes narrowing. She could see the conflict in his gaze. "You speak of protection, yet you attack us," he shot back, but his voice lacked conviction. "Because you attacked us first. We are defending ourselves," Emily retorted, her voice strong. "But if you surrender, we can find a way to coexist. There is so much we can learn from each other." Grakor's face twisted in thought, and Emily could see the wheels turning in his mind. He was a warrior, but even warriors had their limits. Emily could sense that he was beginning to consider the possibility of surrender. Suddenly, a loud explosion rocked the Blood Reaver, and Grakor's attention shifted. Emily saw a moment of fear flash across his face as the ship began to take on water from the damage. "You will pay for this!" he shouted, but his words were laced with uncertainty. "Grakor, listen to me!" Emily pleaded. "If you don't act now, your entire fleet will be lost. You have a chance to save your people. Take it!" The alien warlord's resolve began to waver. The sight of his burning ships and the cries of his crew resonated in the depths of his mind. He had fought many battles, but this was different. He could feel the weight of defeat pressing down on him. "Why should I trust you?" Grakor spat, struggling to maintain his bravado. "Because I am offering you a way out," Emily replied, her tone calm yet firm. "You can live to fight another day. Surrender, and I promise we will treat you and your crew with honor." For a long moment, silence filled the air as the two leaders faced each other through the screen. Emily could see the internal battle within Grakor. He was torn between his pride and the safety of his people. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Grakor spoke, his voice low. "You humans are clever. Perhaps I will consider your offer." Emily's heart raced with hope. This was the moment they had been waiting for. "Thank you, Grakor. Together we can create a future without war," she said, her voice filled with sincerity. As the SS Horizon hovered in space, the tide of the battle shifted. Grakor was finally seeing the possibility of a different path, one that did not lead to destruction. Little did they know, this decision would change the course of history for both humans and aliens alike. The atmosphere on the bridge of the SS Horizon was charged with anticipation. Captain Emily Hart stood tall, her heart racing as she considered the gravity of the moment. Grakor, the fearsome warlord, had agreed to a truce. It was a turning point, one that could change everything for both humanity and the alien forces. "Prepare a secure channel for communication with Grakor," Emily ordered, her voice steady. She could sense the excitement among her crew, but she knew this was a delicate moment. The fate of many rested on their next steps. Lieutenant Ryan nodded, his fingers moving swiftly across the control panel. "We're ready, Captain." "The channel is secure," he announced. Emily took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the responsibility on her shoulders. "Open the channel," she said, her eyes fixed on the screen as Grakor's face appeared. He looked weary but resolute. The fierce warlord who had once been so full of rage now appeared contemplative, his expression softened by the threat of defeat. "Grakor," Emily began, her voice calm yet firm. "Thank you for considering our offer. I believe this could lead to a new beginning for both our peoples." Grakor's eyes narrowed slightly, still wary of her intentions. "What do you propose, human?" he asked, his voice low and cautious. Emily took a moment to gather her thoughts. "First, we must establish a ceasefire. Your ships are damaged and our crew is tired. We need time to assess the situation and talk about the future," she explained. "Then, we can discuss an alliance that benefits both of our races." "An alliance?" Grakor repeated, skepticism in his tone. "Why would we trust you? Your kind has always fought against us." Emily nodded, understanding his concerns. "I know our history has been filled with conflict, but I believe we can change that. We both want to survive. By working together, we can share our technology, our knowledge, and create a stronger front against any future threats." Grakor seemed to mull over her words. Emily could see the gears turning in his mind. "What do you suggest?" he asked finally, his voice more open than before. "I propose we share resources and knowledge," Emily replied, her voice gaining strength. "Humans have technology that can enhance your ships and weapons. In return, you can share your battle strategies and insights about the galaxy. Together, we could become a powerful force for peace." Grakor looked at her with skepticism, but Emily could see a flicker of interest in his eyes. "And what about our people? We are warriors, not traitors. Will your kind accept us as allies?" he asked, his voice a mix of curiosity and doubt. Emily leaned forward, her expression sincere. "Yes, I believe they will. I will personally advocate for this alliance. It's time for both our peoples to move beyond old grudges. Imagine a future where we stand side by side against any who threaten us." The alien warlord considered her words, his brow furrowed in thought. Emily held her breath, knowing that this decision could lead to a new era of understanding. "And what of my crew?" he asked, his voice quieter. "They are weary and fearful. They have fought for me, and I cannot betray their loyalty." Emily nodded in understanding. "I promise we will ensure the safety of your crew. They will be treated with respect. We can even offer medical assistance to those injured in the battle. Your warriors deserve that much." Grakor's face softened slightly, and Emily could see the tension in his shoulders ease. "You speak well, human. It is rare to find someone who can offer respect in times of war. But can your people truly accept us?" "I believe they can," Emily replied, her confidence growing. "We are ready for change. This is our chance to build a new path, one that benefits both our races. Together we can stand against anyone who seeks to destroy us." Grakor took a deep breath, and for the first time, a hint of a smile appeared on his lips. "You are bold, Captain. Perhaps there is merit in your words. I will speak to my commanders. If they agree, we can begin this new alliance." Emily felt a surge of hope. "Thank you, Grakor. I look forward to hearing your decision." As the channel closed, she turned to her crew, their faces lit with excitement. The battle had been fierce, but in this moment, they had a chance for something greater. Emily knew the road ahead would be challenging, but with courage and determination, they could build a future where humans and aliens work together. As she looked at her crew, she felt a sense of purpose stronger than ever before. The galaxy was vast, and now they were ready to explore it together. The SS Horizon floated silently in space, the aftermath of battle now a distant memory. Captain Emily Hart stood on the bridge, her heart filled with a mix of hope and anxiety. Grakor had agreed to consider her proposal for peace, and now they awaited the alien warlord's decision. The crew buzzed with energy, but Emily knew the real challenge was just beginning. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission from Grakor," Lieutenant Ryan announced, his eyes wide with anticipation. Emily felt a surge of excitement. This could be the moment that changed everything. "On screen," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. The image of Grakor filled the screen, and Emily could see the tension etched on his face. It was clear he was grappling with the weight of his decision. "Captain Hart," Grakor began, his voice serious, "I have spoken with my commanders, and we have decided to accept your offer. We will agree to a ceasefire and explore the possibility of an alliance." A wave of relief washed over Emily. "Thank you, Grakor. This is a significant step forward for both our peoples," she replied, her voice filled with sincerity. "Together we can create a future free from conflict." Grakor nodded slowly, but his expression remained cautious. "I expect respect for my people during this process. We are warriors, and we will not be treated like fools." "Absolutely. I promise to treat your crew with the utmost respect," Emily assured him. "We can learn from each other and find common ground. Let's focus on building trust between our people." Grakor's eyes narrowed slightly. "Trust is earned, not given. We will need to prove ourselves to each other." "I understand," Emily replied, feeling the weight of his words. "What can we do to begin this process?" "First, we must secure our fleets. I suggest we establish a neutral zone for both sides to discuss terms without interference," Grakor proposed, his tone firm. "We will need to negotiate trade agreements and share technology. My people will need guarantees of safety." Emily smiled, grateful for his willingness to engage. "That sounds reasonable. We can set up a meeting location between our fleets and ensure both sides are protected." "Good," Grakor replied, a hint of approval in his voice. "Once we establish this, we can begin to build the foundation of our alliance." As the transmission ended, Emily turned to her crew. "Prepare to move to the designated neutral zone. We need to show Grakor and his commanders that we are committed to this alliance," she said, her voice filled with determination. The crew moved swiftly, their excitement palpable as they worked to set course for the neutral zone. Emily felt a sense of unity among her team. They were not just fighting for survival anymore, they were creating something new. As they approached the designated area, Emily's thoughts raced. She knew this was an unprecedented moment in history. A meeting between humans and the warlords who had once threatened their very existence. She felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. The SS Horizon arrived at the neutral zone, a vast expanse of space that felt almost serene compared to the chaos they had just experienced. Emily watched as Grakor's fleet approached, the sleek ships gliding through the darkness. "Captain, Grakor's fleet is in position," Ryan reported. "They're signaling for us to begin." Emily took a deep breath and nodded. "Let's proceed." She stepped forward, her heart racing as she prepared to address the alien commanders. This was their chance to pave the way for a new beginning. The screen flickered to life, revealing Grakor and his commanders. They looked serious but curious, their eyes watching Emily intently. "We are here to negotiate," Grakor said, his voice firm but tempered by a sense of openness. "Thank you for agreeing to meet," Emily began, her voice steady. "Today marks the start of a new relationship between our peoples. We can build an alliance based on respect and mutual benefit. Together, we can share knowledge, technology, and even resources." Grakor nodded, his expression thoughtful. "If we are to forge this alliance, we must start by understanding each other. Show me your technology, and I will show you mine." Emily smiled, feeling the weight of hope in her chest. "Absolutely. Let's start this journey together." As they exchanged ideas and proposals, Emily felt a sense of excitement building within her. This was more than just a negotiation. It was the beginning of a new era. Humans and aliens, once enemies, were now standing side by side, ready to explore the possibilities of friendship and cooperation. The galaxy was vast, and together they could face any challenges that lay ahead. Emily knew that this was just the start, but it was a beginning filled with promise, and she was ready to embrace it. With every word spoken, they were laying the foundation for a future where understanding and unity triumphed over conflict.